This is my first interview for this month, and I enjoy when I get a chance to get a new person on my channel and, and talk to a lovely lady in the sport of bodybuilding, and we're going to share her story. She is the lovely Mrs. Cathy Vega. She is an IFBB Physique Pro. And I saw her video a while back. I follow Ryan from D on the spot. He posted a video of her working out. I say, wow. And he said this lady was like 60 years old, and her back was like, yeah, it's like she had a jack back. So we shot to her, and it was wondering if she wanted to come on. I know she does interviews with Ryan over at DD, and I said, you know what, come over here and have fun with me. So anyway, we're gonna talk to the lovely Mrs. Vega and share her story with how she started bodybuilding, and maybe what her plans are for the rest of. I can't believe it. There's only just 4 more months left for 2024. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. So welcome, man. Thank you for coming through. And this question I often ask you ladies, what got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Well, I've always been in sports my whole life. And in 2007, I got divorced. And I decided I was going to hire a trainer and do my thing because my boys were grown and in college. And so after about a week of working with Teddy Gray, he asked if I ever thought about competing. And my first response was, no, I don't want to look like a guy. Because back then it was like, oh my gosh, So that was in 2008. And so I said, okay, yeah, so let's go to a show. So we went to a show and I was like, oh, that actually looks really fun. And that's kind of where I got started, is just going to a show and watching and thinking, oh, I could do that. But then after doing figure, I was like, I want to show my hard work more. I want to do the posing. I think that's cool. So they didn't have physique back then, but they had bodybuilding. So that's what I did. And what they did, I would place first every now and then, but most of the time it was second and third. And they're like, your muscularity for your frame is better, your symmetry is better, your conditioning is better, but you just have such a small frame. And so I went into the natural, and I kind of was not happy with the PMK. So I went back to MPC, and in 2019, I got my IFBB Pro card.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good story because I could understand my parents were together for a good while, but even though they were together 55 years, but my father was living in one state, my mom was living here, and you have your two sons, you're raising them, and got to sport. And how are your boys? And the names.
I have Zach, and he will be 40 in December, and then Landon, it will be 36 next week.
Oh, they're not boys anymore. They're men.
Yes, and then I have 2 granddaughters. So
yeah. I've seen the picture, cute little babies. I know you're a proud grandma. I know my mom loves her grandbabies. So you started bodybuilding. You actually started at figure, and you transitioned to bodybuilding. And then it wasn't that long. I think physique came a few years later. What how you feel? As you said, you really want to show your muscle. You're doing natural. Natural is a different level of bodybuilding because
it's a lot harder. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're trying to develop muscle. But you can't, like a lot of competitors who use, supplements and stuff to build up muscle, and it's different look. Because I think NPC is trying to push more natural competitors, and I think it's not as popular per se. There's organizations out there do natural, but I think a lot of people like basically how it's the big freaky chicks, the big freaky guys. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, with the natural, I found out that they actually don't test the way that they say they're going to. I called them out on it, and they couldn't provide my drug test. And then they finally admitted to target testing. So I was like, if you're going to take my money every 3 months and not test me, then I'm just going to go to an organization that doesn't test and just take it how it is. So that's what I did.
Yeah, because taking your money and not doing what you need to do, that's not right. Because it's just it's crazy. Here we got from a man. This is my man KL, the Wandering King. Through he says this. He says, "I enjoyed watching your flexing on DD on the spot. Was a highlight film for me." Also, he says this. He says, you should have worn a black dress with your dark hair, Cathy. Hey. She wear what she want to wear.
Well, I didn't know I was supposed to get all dressed up. I
no, you
would
have to get no. Don't worry about him. You know what? He's a man who sits and do interviews in a robe, so don't worry about him. You don't need to dress up fancy. You look nice. That's the thing is you'll know how to treat a lady. I'm a gentleman for the South. I know how to treat a lady. So anyway, what was that like your first time competing?
My first time competing, I was petrified because I really didn't know the poses that well. Because back then, my coach, he had no clue about figure training or posing. And so I was just watching DVDs that shows you my age, back to the DVD age. And so I was just kind of going into the poses and just kind of watching. And I ended up in the top 5, but I wasn't satisfied with that, of course. And so I hired a posing coach and then went on to my next one, and I took second at Nevada State Championships. So we moved up pretty quick, and it's just been fun. I just do it because I do enjoy it, and I like being able to push myself to a different level.
You gotta enjoy doing the sport, especially for a woman. It's a very tough sport. It is a sport that's physically, emotionally, mentally draining. Also the expense of being a woman competing in sport. And we figured, as you talk about the poses were kind of different because you just got to do those, quarter turns. But then you go to with bodybuilding physique, you can flex your muscle a little more. You can show off. You have to wear the high heels anymore. I think that's that's what I'm saying. So when did you officially switch over to physique?
Well, I had a total knee replacement December of 2020, right before Christmas. And so I did one more physique show, and the women had gotten just so big that I was like, being natural, I couldn't compete with that. So I thought, well, I'll just go back into figure. So I've done like 3 or 4 figure. It's good, but I just still don't enjoy it as much as, well, this is in the pro league. So I'm thinking of in November going back to physique.
So breaking news, breaking news.
Yeah.
Cathy Vega is going back to physique. The division has really, changed over the years. I mean, it's been around for at least about a little over 10 years. I think when I talk to ladies who ask like, who's the woman that really inspired you when you were competing, when you got into the bodybuilding world?
See, I'm kind of different. I'm not one of those that draws to everybody else. I pretty much just do my own thing. But like the Rachel McLish look and the Corey Iris, those were the people that I thought were just absolutely beautiful. Wasn't too over the top. I do love Andrea Shaw as a bodybuilder. Yes, yes. I met her after my pro show, after I earned my pro card in Pittsburgh. And I met her we were both doing cardio afterwards. And she's like, oh man, girl, I saw you on stage. You killed it. And she was just such a genuine person. I just loved it. I was just like, oh, she is so awesome.
You just mentioned Andrea Shaw was my woman. I love her. A friend of mine, Eunice, she was at the Olympia last year, and she got me this magazine. And and also I love this because I have it out whenever I talk about her because I am obsessed with her. I think she's so beautiful. She has amazing physique, and she did this.
Oh, how awesome!
Yeah, and I think she's just a beautiful woman. She has a great physique, a great look. I think she really changed the sport of women's bodybuilding because
Yes.
she has just so good amount of muscle and good amount of femininity. Also, this is a friend of mine. His name is Big Keith Williams. And Keith, he sent me this picture a while back. I told him he's my brother. I love him. But he has handed my girl. He said, George, I just want to see. He said, no, you did it for a reason. You got a wife, man. I'm sorry, Miss Cathy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm sorry. I can't. Every time I see a picture, I love Keith's my brother. I love him. We do a live stream together. He's my brother. I love him in sport, but he has handed my girl. So I'm sorry. I get into that mode,
No, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
There's those people that just kind of really you draw to, and that are genuine people. They're just very, very nice, very pure. I mean, I just think she's awesome.
Yeah, she is. I think that's really with bodybuilding, especially for young women. It's great to have someone like Andrea Shaw. I remember Richard Glash and Corey Everson. They were just a total level of female bodybuilding back in those days. And yeah, I can go back to I used to remember watching the cassette tapes. Remember, Be Kind Rewind. I understand my OG. It's just and used to watch those but you know what? I gotta respect those women, the commitment and passion to get into the sport, and yourself too to is so again, this is a sport where a lot of people don't think that women should have muscle.
Yes.
I think they feel like there's always a debate about being feminine. You're not feminine enough. Or I know people make comments like, "This is a lovely right here." They say, "You're trying to be a man." You're not trying to be a man. You're an athlete. You're working hard. You're training. You try to build your body, and you found something you love as a passion. Here we got here a comment from me and KL the Wanderer. He's always picking on me. He says, he says, "Stop hating George. She matches with the black. That's all." Hey, I'm not hating. I'm just telling you, don't tell nobody you need what to wear. So mind your business. Also, he also likes to ask you, says, "How far do you see yourself competing?" So, how long you want to do this? Because you are getting much older. How long you want to do this?
Well, as long as I'm having a good time and I'm still placing in the top five, I don't see any reason of stopping, because I will be 63 the end of this month, and I still feel like I have room to grow. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know a lady who's like 61. I think she could be 62 this year. And her name is Cathy Marks. And, sorry, Cynthia Marks. And we talked about how it's amazed me how there's a lot of you ladies who come into sport who are, in their 40s and 50s, who have kids, I know some ladies who step away from bodybuilding to start their own lives and come back. I mean, you got to admire, it seems like back in the day, what's that many women even past 30 competing? But, I just watched, the Tampa Bay Pro. I interviewed a lady who's also is your age group. Her name is Jenny Cortez. She competed for her first bodybuilding show. And I can respect what you ladies who are mature coming into the sport have a passion for it.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't start this lifestyle till I was 48. So, um, you know, I think I've come a long ways in a shorter time than a lot of people think. So it's just takes consistency, enjoying what you're doing, and just hard work.
That's people you understand. Is everybody? This is the idea of people outside of sport. It's saying that you pop up special pill and then boom, boom, boom. No, you have to be consistent. You have to follow a diet. You have to follow routines. You can't, skip a leg day. You can't skip any kind of workout. You know, like my man Keith said, like this, say, some guys can take the same shit he takes when he gets ready for prepping, but then if you don't work out and follow your a plan, then you're not going to have the same physique. Everybody's going to look different. Here, here's from man KL. He says this. He says, "What's your favorite workout?" So when you work it out, what's that workout that really just make you?
I love doing back.
Oh,
So
I see. I see.
I wonder why.
I see. I mean, yeah. I mean, and what's that one you say? Oh my God, I don't want to do this. Oh my God.
Chest.
Ooh, chess. Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, chest is not my favorite.
That's a new one. I often I get either leg or bicep. Leg day is the worst for any bodybuilder because you know what? Yeah, your legs be so tired. You feel like somebody beating your legs with a stick. You
Yeah,
know,
I love that feeling. I love that feeling. So
but you're a freak. You like that?
yes,
Yeah.
I've been told that before. But
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Man, from it says, "What do you like in physique in the present?" So, if you say you're going back to physique, what do you like about? Is it other than the posing? What else you like about the division?
well, I like doing the routine. I like choreographing my own routine to music because then you can express yourself and kind of who you are and your essence. And then everybody in physique is just very chill. There's no drama. I like that because there can be a lot of that backstage.
Yeah, I hear stories. That sometimes I think I hear often hear sometimes from like the girls bikini and wellness because because bikini's not as new as it's not as new in division, but wellness is the new key. It's getting a lot more attention. It's getting more sponsorship. Even physique and women's bodybuilding are have fewer shows. And you saw early this year the promoter for St. Louis Pro is dropping women's physique for women's show. We get kicked out of the Arnold Classic. It's just I think these divisions need respect because for one thing, it was for women's bodybuilding. You wouldn't have divisions like fitness, physique,
Right.
figure. I mean, with bikini, I said this before on live stream. I call it an invasive species. It's not really. It didn't really come out of the sport, but it's now part of the sport. Folks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into Cathy's social media for a bit and look at some stuff you want interested. You want to follow her. Her links are in the live here. You can check her out. You can follow her. You can click it. And this is something this is a disclaimer. I say this every time Cathy when I do these interviews. Guys out there, I know you love these buff women. You love these women with muscle. They excite you. But guys, this is a rule I'm telling you. No D pics. Stop it. Get some help. She got 2 grown boys. You don't want somebody to say, "Yo, man, you see that shit to my mama? You see that shit to my mama?" You're like, no. That's it. No,
Yeah,
man.
but too.
No, man. I didn't see that shit to your mama, man. No. So we're gonna jump in here, social media for a bit here. And over here. And this is a nice little picture I saw earlier. This is you, and this is the cute little grandbaby jumping in the water. Yeah. How old are your babies?
8 and 6.
That tender age before they become teenagers and become hell.
Yes, and girls. Lots of drama.
Uh-huh. Whew, my mother had three daughters and 3 sons.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, but 4 sons, but one passed away when we had childbirth. And it's good to enjoy his time. And this is the video I was talking about, folks, that, I saw on DV Spot. And it says, the time 60-year-old Cathy broke my will to live. And we'll show it here. This is for your debut in 2020, right?
Yes, and that was right before I had my total knee replacement. In the video, you can see my offloading brace. So I went and had my pro debut. I won my division, and then 2 months later, I had my total knee replacement. So,
Ooh, yeah, I can say I got some issues with my knee right now. I'm thinking about getting some work done on it. Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant, but I think I might need it one, especially getting older. And who's your coach? Who's your coach? Who are you working with now as your coach?
Gareth Sapstead, he's from the UK.
And how long y'all been together?
Since right after my knee replacement, so about 3.5 years.
Uh-huh. It's
Almost
good.
4.
Yeah, and good. I know he understands how your body goes, how you work. It's good to have a good relationship. And even though he's in the other side of the world, I know he keeps up with your diet and everything else. Like, you have anybody works with your posing?
With my posing, with that, it was the one that's just showing right now. That was my coach, Anthony Altamarino. And he helped me with my posing on that. And then I worked with Kenny Wallach for a little bit for a show. So I pretty much do my own posing. And then my friend Esther Lumerin, she helps me a lot too. She just is really good with the details and fine eye. And so, but pretty much, but I'm thinking of if I go back to, in November when I compete, getting another, posing coach it's always good to have that second eye because they see things that you don't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a good point because and you got your pro card in 2019. That was at the look like it was the North American. No, it was the
No, TCM Masters Pro or
Team Master Pros. Yeah,
Masters Nationals. Yeah,
yeah.
that
And
was
guess
my national show. I'd never been to nationals before, so I really went in there not really expecting. I just was going for the experience to enjoy it. And then when I got moved to center stage right off the bat, I was like, "What? Okay." And so it was just a great experience.
Mm-hmm. And I can't say, folks, I look at these pictures, and this lady's 60 years old, and her body is just amazing. I mean, I wish I could look like that at 60. I wish I could look like that at 55 if I'm lucky enough. And this is your little doggy here.
Yes, that's Gemma.
Uh-huh.
He
Yeah.
keeps.
How old is he?
She's 3.
I think,
Uh,
all right. Yeah, it's nice. Black lab. Yeah.
yeah, black
Mm-hmm.
lab with blue eyes.
Oh, yeah. And this is one of your boys right here.
No, that is my nephew, and
Oh,
that's my mom right there. She is going to be 86 in October.
wow. You 80, you get your
Those
mom,
are
you get,
boys right there, and my
yeah.
daughter. That's one of my sons right there.
All right. Get some handsome boys. You be proud of yourself. I mean,
Yes, yes.
what was their thoughts when you started competing? Their mom going to be half naked on stage and everybody see her. I mean, I don't know about you, but fellas say, "Hey, dude, that's your mom up there." I say, "Hey, keep your mouth on your mouth. Get your mom out of your mouth. Keep my mom out your mouth."
Yeah, they have certain moments, but they were always very supportive of me, and always came to my shows and cheered me on, and um, yeah, I think they're very proud of my accomplishments. They don't like their comments from some of their friends, but they're very proud of me for what I've done. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Like I said, I was my mother. I took care of her like the last 5 years before she passed away, and my mother was my woman. I loved her, and any boy, your mother's your best friend. That's the first. You can have a wife and girlfriends, but your mother, when you lose her, you can never get her back. And I think any son, you want to be protective of your mother. You don't want guys ugly at your mom saying, "Hey man, I saw your mom on stage. She's all oiled up and tan, and I can't love funny feelings." So hey. But like I said, I think it's good that you have support of your family and your friends, because I know your grandbabies love it, because they can probably tell, hey, my grandma could beat your grandma. So yeah. Here we got a comment here for a man. Yo, KL says, "Are you watching the Olympics? Have you watched the Olympics?"
Yes, I have. I wasn't really thrilled with the opening ceremonies, but it's the athletes. It's not their fault that all this other stuff is going on. It's.
Well,
And
I guess,
I love sports, so
yeah, I don't really watch it. I've seen stuff here and there on YouTube. I don't really watch TV much like I used to. Also, this is from a man, KL. It says, "I like your legs. They are nice." Yes.
well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Miss Cathy, there's a small saying: "When your legs rock hard, we'll rock hard." So it's just, I think what is, it's amazing how a lot of, especially women like yourself, who after getting divorced, raising your sons, you found this sport that you like and you love. Because most people, like I say, don't understand it. Like I've talked to ladies say that friendships have changed because you can't do what you used to do before. You got to the sport. You can't go hang out. You can't go here. You can't go there. Also, the diet's one thing about it, because when you eat, like when you had grandbabies over, I know you cook separate from you what you cooking from what they eat.
For the young one, yes. For Dylan, the older one, she will eat whatever I give her, and we've already talked about proteins and fats, and so she'll sit there and she'll be eating her whatever I fix her, and she's like, okay, the meat is my protein, and she understands, and she does pretty well. The younger one, not so much. We got chicken nuggets and pizza, and
Well, you can't remember, she's still a baby. They're not going to eat
yeah,
ground chicken and white rice and
right,
broccoli. They like to have something with a little grease and a little salt in it.
yeah.
This is from a man care. He's always picking on me. He says, you know, George, calm down, man. She's not your mother. It doesn't matter if she's not my mother. She's somebody's mother, KL. And like I said, and so this a boy's best friend is his mother. And we defend our mothers. I know he don't have much relationship with his mom, but I know I have a relationship with mine, and I fight for the death for hers. So you are thinking of doing coming back to Physique in November. So what show are you shooting for?
I'm looking at the Tim Gardner Productions down in Fort Lauderdale.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know that's the Atlantic Coast. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's also it's both masters and open. So are you
Mhm.
gonna do the masters part or you want to double dip?
Um, it'll depend on how I'm feeling at that point. Because, those, the open, those girls are big, 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 big. So,
Yeah, yeah. I remember last year, Natalia Correjo, after she lost to Sarah at the Olympia, she did that show.
yeah.
And the debate is that, if you're already Olympic qualified, just saw a show where we had a lady who's Olympic qualified doing the show. You feel like as a competitor, you gotta think about it. Even though you're not gonna be competing in the open, you feel like it's fair when you have to compete with somebody who's already got your spot. And it's just it's like I know I said some competitors do because their promotion might pay them to do it, but you figure like there should be like a limit where you could compete at a show.
No, I mean, because they might be just trying to keep themselves close to that stage look for the Olympia. So, you know, if they can keep doing show after show until they get to the Olympia, then they'll probably just come in better. So, because I always tell when I coach girls, I'm like, what you do one show, the next show you do, you're going to come in even tighter and better. So maybe that's their thinking. I don't know.
Hmm. Now, your last competition was the Emerald Cup, and
Yes.
that's in Portland. I think Portland,
No,
Oregon.
Bellevue, Washington.
Okay, Washington. Okay. And you're doing figure. What
Yeah.
was the critique from the judges? Did they give you any feedback?
Um, they gave me a little bit, but nothing too crazy. They were just like, "Oh, you need to bring up your backside," and from a lot of people I talked to, they were like, "What? What are they talking about?" So um, I don't know. You just always have to go in there knowing that you're bringing your best, you're doing it for you, and you can't get hung up on all of that feedback that you sometimes agree with, sometimes you don't. So you just take what they give you and just go with it. So I think I've made some improvements since then. Um, so that's what I'm looking at. I'm also working with a guy in Illinois. I don't know if you know him, Derek Byman.
No.
Bynum. He's really good with nutrition and hormones. So, because everybody gets really hung up on the hormone thing and that they have to do all these TRTs and, all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know.
Well, you got to remember, women's bodies biology are different from men.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to set a plan different from like if you have multiple clients and you have a set of men, you have a set of women, you can't give the same thing to a man you give to a woman because you don't like men, we have natural testosterone. It's in
Right.
our system. Women you do have to use some kind of TRT or some kind of pid to build that level of muscle. That's why it's like harder for natural competitors because I interviewed a lady, her name is Sam. She competes in natural. And it's like she told me like she did Pittsburgh uh, early this year. And she told me that she was told she get bigger, but she's a natural competitor. And she said again, it's harder for you natural competitors to get that certain level, and especially when you're much older, much mature. It's one thing to try to bring in certain, like bring up your back or bring your backside. It's not easier for someone who's younger because your metabolism is different.
Definitely.
But when you're a woman, and you're more mature. It takes a lot more work and more time.
Yes. And
Mhm.
then, he tries to do it through the nutrition and the food. And so I've been trying that. And I don't know. I feel like I've made some gains from it. His workouts are a little bit different. So they're a lot harder.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Uh,
hard.
they're tough. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So,
He's
but
like
yeah,
a he's like a taskmaster. Get you.
I'm just glad he's not there because then he would probably be like doing the whip.
Yeah, it's tough. And like I said again, it's tough for you women to bring a certain level, a certain look. I mean, not everybody can be Andrea. Genetics is one thing, but like I said, sometimes it takes a lot of hard work to get to that certain level.
Right.
Here we have a comment here from my man KL. He says, um, shout out to KL. He says this. He says, here he goes. He says, "Do you like taking photos a lot, and who do you like to work with in photography?" So, how often you take photos? How often you take because I saw pictures you posted on your IG. So you
Yeah,
like taking.
I like taking photos. I think it's fun. You work so hard, and it's nice to show it in different arenas. My daughter-in-law is a really good photographer, so I work with her a lot. George can take us. I'm going to be doing a shoot with him in September, and I can't wait for that one because I'm going to do like a Princess Xena theme, Princess Warrior. So that's going to be very cool. Uh, let's see, who else have I worked with? His name is Marcello. He's from Reno here. Mr. Photography is what his Instagram is. Worked with him. So yeah, I do enjoy taking pictures, and that's fun.
Yeah, there's some ladies. There's some people that work. Where's some people I know who? One guy I interviewed. His name is Sean. Sean. I forgot Sean's last name. I know it's guy. It's in the back of my head. He does a lot of photography. He's out of Vegas. There's also Annie Vecchio, who a couple years ago I got to meet at when I went to my first body show in Savannah. She does Muscle Angels. I know a lot of women do a lot of photography, especially after shows, because when you're shredded, you're cut, you really want to get that look before you start back into your off season, and you're bulking up. I know as a fan, we just love you, ladies. Your shape, you're just so amazing. But the fact is, that's something you can't maintain year round. It is tough to maintain that stage look because and truthfully, you're dehydrated, you're tired, you're hungry. I know after the show, your last show, where's that thing you wanted to eat the most? Where's that thing that was calling your name, Miss Cathy? Where's that thing that makes you stranger?
Yeah. It's so weird, but I never like go too crazy because I'm like, you're so tired by the end of the day, and everything is just like after the Emerald Cup. One of the girls I coached, she did the NPC. We were going to go out and we were going to have just so much fun, but it was pouring rain. We didn't have a car. We didn't really want to get an Uber. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and by the time we got done, so we went back to the Airbnb that we had, and I had some prep food, and we did buy some cookies. Cookies are always a plus with me. Um, and that's what we had. I was like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, I know food is both a weapon and tool for a bodybuilder, especially the right foods. I know everybody loves the cookies or anything sweet or anything salty. It's just food is just something about, it, especially being a big dude. Here we got a comment from my man KL. He says, Mama's boy. Yes, I'm proud of being that. I know his sons is proud of being that. So don't be a hater. Be a congratulation. Also, he says this. He says, would you want to be bikini if the women are too big in your division? As you know, if you look at the girls in bikini now, some of them look like I would say almost I would say they go back to like the early women's body. Actually, I think even bigger than Richard McLeish or Corey Everson. Now, if you look at the division.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've thought about it, but I don't know. Physique has just always been my thing and that I love. But I have thought about going to bikini. I keep joking with my friends. I'm going to end up having to go into bikini because they just keep getting bigger and bigger. And I think I would do well in bikini. Just I wouldn't have to do much.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's a lot easier because some bikini girl says, "Oh, it's a lot harder for us," but you got to think about it. It's not as hard compared to say, women's bodybuilding or even physique. You have to really put on more muscle. And also the judges, one thing, when the judges tell you, like, we want this and this and that. But then you see how the divisions are starting to look like where someone like Andrea Shaw could probably say Sage or someone like Italia Cuejo. You look at even the women in figure now, where they look like they could be physique competitors. I saw one lady, she competed at Tampa. She could be a physique competitor, but she's doing
Yeah,
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like it was when I first started at all, not even close. So,
yeah,
and the only, I've always told people, I earned my pro card on conditioning. I've never been the biggest. I've always been very conditioned. And I think that's where, and, my stage presence, that's where I think I've done the best. I like, at my pro debut, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you look like a little pea up there next to some of those girls," and I'm like, "I feel like one too," but my conditioning and my stage presence, I guess, is what they were looking at that day. So, and you never know. Show to show is different. So you just go in there, do your thing, and whatever
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, judging, you might get a different judge from one show to
Yes.
another.
Yeah.
I've seen when one won one show, when one won one show, but then turn around, she takes second in another show.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's all about who's in front of you, as I've often have heard. Here we got a comment from a man, KL. He says this. He says, uh, "What's your favorite cookies?" So you have a favorite?
Yeah, the OCD cookies. Anything with peanut butter.
Everybody loves peanut butter. I mean, I like a good old fashioned chip of or maybe some Oreos, something like that. I mean, I don't eat cookies that much. I'm more of a cake and bun guy than I am cookies. Here we have here. This is from my man KL. He says, his comment. He says, "This wait a minute, it's coming up." He says, "Do you do calisthenics?" So is calisthenics part of your workout plan when you're working out?
Yeah, I do a lot of push-ups. Do a lot of air squats, things like that when I'm warming up. So yeah, and like crunches. I don't really do typical crunches. I usually do hanging crunches or on a decline bench or something. But yeah,
Yeah. Also, you'd like to know is this is a question I was asked. He says, "What motivates you to do bodybuilding, especially in competing?" So, what gets you? Like I said, you went through surgery, and also you do. What gets you going? What's that? What gets you motivated to get in the morning and get ready and do your routines and to work out and to eat just to go on stage? What's that thing that in
well,
your
the first thing is it has to be part of your lifestyle. It's a passion for me. It's just something that I can see the transformation of my body, and it's fun to be able to see changes, and then to be at my age and also be able to look next to the person next to me and say, you know what, I'm kicking butt. So and just because I do enjoy it so much, it's just part of me, I guess. And so it's not really that hard. Some mornings I'm like, oh, I don't even want to get up. But once you force yourself to do that and you get in that habit, then it's like you get there and everything starts moving and you're glad you did it. So it's just the discipline part of it, I guess, is what I like. I like the structure. I like being able to push past a certain comfort zone, come out of the box, and just see how much better I can be.
Mhm. So like anything, it's about your like one thing I talked to somebody says it's about trusting the process, but when you understand the process, then you can fully trust it. It's
Yes.
about, like I said again, you want to like this bodybuilding is not as a very lucrative sport like any other sport. You're like say again, you ladies, it costs you a lot more to compete compared to the men. The guys got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, you ladies, you have the bedazzled suits. You have the hair and makeup done. If you're in like divisions like wellness or figure or bikini, you have to wear high heels, and then the prize money is not that much depending what division you're in.
Right.
I mean, but then that's the thing is, even though you're not doing it for the money, you do it for the love of it.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here we got a comment from a man. KL says, "Ever try to do a muscle up? That would be cool. To see you do that in your age probably put me to shame."
Uh,
Yeah,
no, I haven't. I haven't
yeah.
tried to muscle up. just because it's so, I don't know, it just looks like it's really hard on your shoulders.
Yeah, I could tell you I have right here on my right, I have a tear. This one here, I got spurs. I got a pacemaker. I can't do as much like I used to. I got bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I try to, I try to do a little bit here and there, walk here and there, and try to get in shape. It's about how far you want to go. Like I said again, you're not a spring chicken.
Right.
Sometimes your body would tell you we can't go no more, but it's that muscle failure that keeps you pushing. Like, yeah, I want to push that last set. I want to go that extra mile. And you have to have, as a body, we have determination. You need that determination because if you don't have it, it's just not everybody can do this sport. Like just saw Ronnie Coleman. He just celebrated. He has celebrated being a lifetime achievement award. And
Yeah.
his quote Ronnie said like this says, "Everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but they don't want to lift a heavy ass weight."
Right. Well, and that's the truth. I mean, I have people all the time and they want to do it. They want to do it. And then they find out that it's not as easy as it looks. And they're like, well, you make it look easy. And I'm like, well, I've been doing it for a long time. And then they just like drop off and then you don't hear from them again. And it's sad because, if they would just give it the time that it needs, they would get the benefit and they would be excited about it. But there's not a lot of people that have that drive that want to do that. So,
Yeah.
they don't want to give up their cocktails or, they're eating whatever they eat and, things like that. And it's like, it's not forever. I have a very balanced life. Like, I think if I want a treat, I'll have a treat, but it's just, I don't go overboard because I know how it makes me feel.
Yeah, because you got to choose. When you get to this is a lifestyle change. You have to make decisions that like do the things that you used to do. You can't do them anymore. Like I say, can't go drink like you want to.
Mhm.
You can't eat like cookies and cakes all the time. It's nice to have every now and then.
Yeah.
I remember we say like Cookie Monster. He changed. Remember Cookie Monster? Like he's always eat cookie, 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 and somebody said that cookies don't eat as much cookies anymore. He has to make those changes because it's cookies sometimes, but not all the time. But it's I think with a lot of younger people, they want everything hot and ready. They want it right then and there, and they're not willing to put in the time and the work into. You have to be steady. You have to be consistent. You can't, like I said, just go halfway in. You have to go all the way in when you do this sport. Here, we got a comment from NKL. He says, yes, it says, I try to work out with weights a bit, and I do squats and lunges and biceps curls a bit. Also, he says this. He says, uh, everyone can't be a bodybuilder, but there are other roads of fitness. Yeah, no one has to be a bodybuilder. You can just like to work out, you like to train. But you have to, like I said again, you have to have passion for a sport when you get into it. You
Yes.
can't go halfway in. And one thing is, instead of getting the cost of being a bodybuilder, you have these sponsorship or everything's on your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. I have somebody that sponsors like my suit and my shoes and, all that kind of stuff. And then help me out with my supplements, like my proteins and things like that. Um, and, they want you to do well. So they expect you to put in some work. So yeah, it's but like he said, there's other avenues of fitness. There's all kinds of, I used to just be total just basketball, volleyball, softball, and those were my sports. And so when I decided to come into this arena, it was a pretty easy transition because I always had the work ethic with those, and so um, but like bike riding, I love to ride my bike. That's its form of fitness. Hiking, I love to hike. That's a form of fitness. So, you have to find something that fits your lifestyle and what you enjoy. Like you said, it's not for everybody. The bodybuilding world is not for everybody, but it doesn't mean you are not fit and that you don't want to be healthy. So,
It's about what works for you. You know, and like I say, and not everybody can be a bodybuilder, but if you like to work out, you like to train, you like to ride your bike. I mean, I can't remember last time I rode a bicycle. That's been like maybe 20 or 30 years, you know. But yeah, it's about what you like and what you find interests you the most, especially if you're into fitness. And also the thing is, people always make comments. I keep talking about this, how people are always, talk about your ladies, like, hey, this lady, she's like, yeah, 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 yeah. But here's the thing is, if you're not willing to put in the time that she put into it, to go to the gym, to work out, you have nothing to say. And it's funny how people like to shame you women, and it's like I said again, a lot about the sport is the mental aspect of it. It
Right.
can affect you how you're treated. Like when you go, like I know you're out and about with your grandbabies and your family. You ever have to deal with people making comments and stuff like that?
Um, Not rude comments. I haven't really dealt with any rude comments. I do have, people commenting on my arms a lot, and I'm like, oh my God, you have some arms. I'm like, well, yeah, you do too, but and they're, so, and then I'm walking with the girls. We're coming out of the grocery store, and this young kid's like, wow, you look so strong. Just comments like that. Don't think I've ever gotten any like rude comments.
Yeah, I mean, so like, damn, that grandma's jacked. So yeah. So
Well, a lot of people mistake the girls for mine. They think they're
oh.
girls, and I'm like, no, they're my grandchildren. So
Yeah, because a lot of ladies have talked to. I'm talking to ladies who are in their 50s and 60s, and you wouldn't look it. You'll look, you're just about to be 63. You look like you might be in your, mid to early 40s, 50s. The heft. This isn't about bodybuilding. It's a healthy lifestyle. It's a extreme lifestyle, but there's some healthy aspects to it.
right.
You can look a lot younger than you're supposed to. You seem like you're a lot healthier. Your bones are stronger because you work out. People gotta think about it. Muscle helps. Look at guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's I think he's turned 77, and he maybe not be the Terminator anymore, but still he's in better condition than most people at
Right.
probably 67 or even at 60. Here we get here a comment from a man KL. He says you have to really, really discipline yourself not to eat junk food. Now, I don't have no discipline for that. And also, he said this to me. He says, I don't know how to ride a bike, George, so don't feel bad. It's not like I don't know how to ride a bike. I hadn't ride a bike in a long time. I'm a big dude. Those bikes, the bikes you got now, you can't be a big man sitting on a bike like that. I, I need that big Pee Wee Herman bike with a big seat. That's what I need. If I ride a bike, I can ride that. But most of these bikes, nah, it's not like I don't know how to ride a bike, brother. I just don't can ride the ones to get out. So, and like I said, you have to really have a passion for this sport. And the cost of it's good that you have, people help you out, sponsorship, because I know a lot of women, they have to do ways to make money. If you have a full-time job, that's good. You have sponsors, that's good. But a lot of women have to do, as I call them, no offense, that's what they are, the B2B websites, because bodybuilding has become a very big fetish in the last few years. And instead again, I remember when I really got into it, because I grew up around the time when Arnold was coming out of the sport, Lee Hughes coming up, and then y'all women were something different, like the Corey Eversons and the Carla Dunlaps and your Angela Langers, and you have Linda Murray, and you had Ken Zavetsky, Iris Kyle, people like Alina Popa I got to meet, and I really, like I said again, I really learned some stuff about what it takes to be a woman in the sport. I could never do what y'all do. I like I said, I like junk food, but I can respect what y'all do. That's why I do this stuff. I reach out, do interviews. That's why I do content. Y'all ladies need recognition for how much time and work you put into this sport.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, one of my favorite quotes from a movie, Batman Begins, and Mikhail helps me for saying this, but there's a part at the end of the movie when Jim Gordon says to Batman, says, "I never get a chance to thank you." He says, "You never have to, because you deserve to be recognized for your passion, the hard work you put in." I know there's times where there's doubt in your mind, where you say, "You know what? Why do this? Why keep myself going?" But then you look at yourself, you look at your grandbabies, you look at your life, and say, "You know what? I enjoy what I do. I do it as long as I can do it." That's the point there.
Right.
As long as you can't do it, what you want to do
Mhm.
it. Here's my man. Man, KL, he says this. He says she doesn't look too buff like the other chicks to get negative criticism just right. But it doesn't take all. I've heard bikini competitors who were told they were too big, too muscular. You don't need to be too big. It's just any kind of muscle they see, especially on a woman. It offends a lot of people's, you know, their ideals. We're supposed to be soft, supposed to be feminine. You shouldn't have muscles. You shouldn't have striations. You shouldn't be as cut as some men. But instead, again, you're an athlete. You train. You work hard. You want to get to the next level. Maybe someday, it's they're supposed to bring it back to Masters Olympia. I think 2025. You might get an invite if you win. I think you're supposed to, if you win in a Masters show, it's an opportunity to get to the Masters because I think the last time was an invite. Here, this is for a man. He says, "What your thoughts on Schmoes, Cathy? Do you have the weirdos nagging you?"
Mm. I do. Thank you. No, I get kind of some weird DMs. So I just don't answer. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why every time I see my interviews, like when I do live streams, I know it's still good saying it, but I say, hey, no guys, no D pics, because you know what? I've become so afraid with some of these ladies to tell me crazy stories and stuff, and guys said this happened to me one time. A lady friend of mine, her name's Marianne. We were on IG Live, just talking to one each other. We're just talking back and forth. And then in the middle of it, some guy pops in. I thought it was somebody she knew. I said, "Hey, somebody you know?" So yeah. Next thing you know, he pulled down his pants and saw his shit.
What?
His my dingling right in the middle of
Wow.
our lives.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
That's I played football in high school. I took showers with dudes. I don't want to see that shit now in my life. Nah, It's just, you have to understand you're a woman, you're a lady. I think some guys feel like the thing that get between ladies something everybody wants to see. No, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see your Tom Thumb. We don't want to see your pickle. No. You get to, this is what I say like this. You get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. I know what you do with that iron fist. You have to understand these ladies, they go through a lot, and if you're not comfortable with these women, then here's the thing is shut the fuck up. Mind your business. Let them
Yeah.
live their lives. It's so easy, but some people don't want to make things easy. Here's this from my man Carrie. I was picking this says, George, you're the Alfred on supporting female bodybuilders. Well, yes, sir, Master Wayne. They call me that. So, like I say, we don't hold her much too long. She had a busy day, grandbabies and all that, and I
I'm
know
gonna go
she,
back to that. I don't look as big as some. Well, like on an everyday basis, I don't. But once you're pumped up and you are on stage, you look like twice as big. So I don't need to really look big on an everyday basis. I look toned, I look defined, but when I'm on stage, I look completely different. I'm not huge, but yeah, that's I don't. You don't unless but and that's just because I don't take a protocol. I don't put a lot of stuff into me. So
Mhm.
so I don't stay that big pumped, big look all the time. So
Yeah,
just to get back to let him know that's a
yeah,
lot of time.
yeah. Because every woman's different. No one's going to be Andrea Shaw. No one's going to be Sarah Vilgas. Everybody is going to have a different look. And you are not as bigger woman. You're also again you're much mature woman, and unless you push that level of certain things to take, as pads, steroids, whatever, you're not going to get that big. But if you work with what you get, train hard, stay motivated, and also focus on where you want to go, you'll be fine. You don't, like I said, you don't try to only competition you compete against is yourself, not so much as that person standing next to you on the stage. You men and women, you train all year round just to be on stage for maybe 2 minutes at the
Right.
most. And and instead again, you're dehydrated, you're tired, you're hot. I've seen women faint on the stage. I interviewed a lady who fainted at the Olympia like about 14 years ago. I mean, it's just a risk when you take this sport, but you understand your limits and you feel like you are comfortable where you want to go as an athlete, it shouldn't matter what anybody else got to say. Um, this is from a man, KL. He says, I wouldn't mind seeing you different, but not too different. Well, like I said, she is who he is, we am, whatever. But anyway, we're not gonna hold much longer because we do appreciate your time, and we'd like to thank her taking time out here. One thing I will say like this: if anyone interested, because she does have sponsors, but it doesn't hurt to have a few more sponsors. It helps with little stuff like travel expenses, maybe somebody who knows hair and makeup, stuff like that. But I know when guys like to say, "Hey, say Cathy, I think you're kind of cute, you're little, you're kind of a hot little silver fox. So if I do something for you, no, come on, guys, come on." Say like this, Mrs. Vega, we like your passion for bodybuilding. We respect your interest in it. So we would like to sponsor you. I know you have already sponsors, but we'd like to help you get to that extra mile. So whatever you need from us, like travel expenses, anything else, let us know. We're happy to help you. That's one thing I keep talking about that a lot of these ladies and men need. I know some of the guys get sponsored a lot easier because they fit the format of some companies, but you women like in bodybuilding, physique, unless you're bikini or wellness, they usually don't want to use it. It's funny thing about that. You're the ones who use most of the products that are being put out there.
Yeah, very true. Thank you. Yeah.
Like I said, I appreciate it. So, folks, we like to thank her for taking time out here. I'd like to thank my man Kayla for coming through here. Anybody who watched this video, if you missed it, you can watch it again. She's planning on competing in November. That's going to be Atlantic Coast. We wish her best of luck. Hope she does well. Maybe win the class. That's a good thing. Little, anything you get out of this sport, you should, get what you get out of it and enjoy what you do the most.
For your journey, no matter what you do. So.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you have anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah. MJ from MJ Atomics. She's the one that sponsors me for my suit. She has done my suit since 2009, and her work is just phenomenal. I've never had to use the bikini bite or anything. It just fits me like a glove. So her, and then Antoine Sims with Grabs. He's one of my biggest supporters. And those are grips for your hands so that you don't get the calluses, and that gives you extra wrist support. And of course, Garrett Sapstad, the Fitness Maverick, and Derek Bynum, and my family, of course.
Yeah, your boys and your babies. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you know what? Instead of getting a boy's best friend is his mother, and I know they love you, support you. I know sometimes they say, "Hey, Dad, I just went to saw your mom at the last show. Hey, keep your mom out your mouth. Keep my mom out your mouth."
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Like I said, boys best. We love our mothers. We're I know, KL, you may not have a relationship with your mothers, but I have with mine. My I was like this. My mother was my woman. I loved her, and she stood by me when I was going through sometimes, and I stood by her when she was going through her hard times. I miss her dearly. I wish that some days I would trade just one day to be with her if I could. But it's about life. Maybe someday I get to see her. My father, my other brothers and sisters who are passed, but. You know what? It's good that you got them and your grandbabies and your rest of your family and all these people supporting you. I'm going to be supported too. I mean, like I said, I always want to give y'all ladies opportunity to share your stories because people need to understand what it is to be an athlete and be a woman in the sport. And I think when people be more understanding, wouldn't have all these people acting like assholes. Yeah. So. So, folks, we'd like to thank the lovely Mrs. Cathy Vega for coming through here. I'd like to thank again my man KL. Anybody watch this video, share, comment, subscribe, follow Cathy. Her links are in the live stream of this video. Guys, I'm gonna keep telling you this. I know you guys out there, you saw the video, you saw the back, you seen she's pumped, yeah, I know you get a little excited, but guys, no D pics. Stop it. Get some help. This is somebody's mother. This is somebody's grandmother. Come on. Anyway, yeah, I know. I should say, come on, that part. Anyway, Hey, folks, this is me always, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Have a good evening, good morning, and good night.
Goodness.